This is Eric Muad with Muad.com. We're going to take a look at how to pick stocks on your own. And here I have an example of EGHT, which is breaking out or has broken out, and the stock has had a good run. And I just want to be able to show you how you can find similar stocks. This one has moved from all the way from about 50 cents to all the way to $5 in an incredible move. So you always want to find stocks in the same sector. When you find one stock, then you want that stock to lead you into the next possible breakouts in the group. As you can see here, I show you multiple places where the stock was a buy on the monthly chart in September and also in July of 2011. This one has been a great mover, and so we're gonna see how we can find similar stocks. Remember, even great stocks have rest periods, and with the rest periods you can always find your next buy point opportunity. And remember, a great sector will always have fresh ideas. It's not like all stocks will move at the same time. Different stocks within the same sector are gonna be moving pretty much in step, but for the most part they'll also gonna have what I would call some of them are gonna be a couple of weeks ahead of the others. So you always want to find out which stocks in which sector are breaking out. Now again, you don't have to make it this very complicated. Everybody's got their own way of doing things. I don't like to use automatic scans, where software finds you stock ideas. I like to find my own ideas, and the reason for that is because I like to get the feel for the market. When you do your own manual scans, what happens is that you end up finding what the market sentiment is, and you get a feel for the market. And don't forget, some people are going to spend a lot of time trying to find individual stocks. Like if you take this as the entire market of 10,000 stocks, most people are just going to try and spend a lot of time trying to find the best stock, just one stock out of 10,000. I would rather change that equation. Why don't you find the best sector in the market, and within the sector find the best stocks? One, the best sectors are already the best sectors. That means institutional money is buying those stocks. And don't forget, as I always say, 75% of a stock's move is going to be dependent on market direction. 15% of a stock's move is going to be dependent on sector direction, and then 10% is going to be dependent on the stock's individual momentum. So most people spend their time looking for the best stock. That's very difficult. The first thing you're supposed to do, pretty much if you think about it, is change the equation. You don't need to find the best stock. All you need to do is figure out, number one, do I want to be a buyer of the general market? And number two, what are the best sectors in the stock market? If you can get that correct, then that means that 90% of your job is done, and then now you can go and find a stock within the entire sector, which is within the entire market. And if the market is doing well, this is exactly what you want. So I would say find the best stocks within the best sectors. It's very important. Spend most of your energy trying to find the best sector. Start there, and that will naturally bring you to the best stocks within, and by that you find you're going to be owning the absolute best. Now remember, markets change direction all the time, but that if you use that as your best criteria, you're going to be in a good situation most of the time. Again, so here I was just showing you this stock, how it did, EGHT, and we're going to see how we can find similar stocks, and also how we can find sectors to help you do your own research whenever you do your research, maybe on the weekend or when you have time during the week to scan the market. Alternatively, you can let me do the selection for you, as I've been doing ever since you became a subscriber, because I do all this work and I enjoy doing it. So I do it every day, full time, looking for ideas, changing approaches, scanning whether the market has changed its preference for one sector over another. So all these things, the market is always changing, and you always want to change with it. But when you buy a stock, you want to buy it when it breaks out. Just like this stock was a buy here sometime in May of this year, and it moved from about $2.80 all the way to $5. What made this a great stock? Was the group on fire? Is the group still on fire? These are the questions you're supposed to ask. Now, one way, if you want to really simplify it, is to go to this website here, barchart.com, and the link might be complicated, but I'm going to show you how you can go to this website. And I really spent a lot of time trying to, there are many ways you can find stocks, but what I wanted is a simple method where you go to one website and it tells you exactly what you want. So I'm going to show you how you can get to this link on this website here in a second, but just remember, on this page you're going to find some of the best stocks the market has, and what you have to do is go to this website here, www.barchart.com. Once you're in the website, on your left, scroll down and you're going to see a link here called Top Signals Stocks. Top Signal Stocks. Now you click on that. Let me highlight that so I can show that to you. Now click on that link and it's going to bring you to this page. This page is going to have everything you need. All the top stocks are in this group, and they are how they calculate this is based on several parameters, but all you need to find out that this is where you find the best stocks in the market, and it's about 50 stocks or so. I think maybe 50 or 100, I'm not sure, but if you can spend time weeding out the best stocks, you'll be surprised that even the same stock we were talking about, and EGHT, is on the list. So just as an example to show you that definitely this one page, if you start your search here, you're going to find good stocks that are going to lead you to good sectors, and then within the sectors you can find new ideas. But barchart.com is one way I would do it. There are many ways you can do it. You can go to many websites, you can use software, you can use your brokerage account to search for stocks. But if you want me, I took probably a whole week trying to find what was the best way to compress somebody's search results, and this is what I came up with. Barchart.com, and all you need to do is either scan this list and pretty much see whether you can find good stocks. Now another way you can also do this is, remember, you want to find the best stocks in the market, and you want to find them. And how do you find the best sectors in the market? One way I would do it without spending a lot of money is by going to a website here. It's called bigcharts.com. bigcharts.com. It's a free website. Now once you're in the website, you're gonna click on industries like that, and it's gonna, by default, gonna give you the top 3-month performance. And here's a list. You can see you got footwear, consumer index, you got some pharmaceutical index, food stocks, personal goods. All you're gonna see here is there's a lot of the theme seems to be biotech and consumer goods. Now on the right side of the page, you are gonna see a drop down menu, and I'm gonna just hold on a second here. Let me get this page correctly situated so I can be able to show you. So on the right side of this very page, it's gonna give you options to where you can pick the time period. So here you see you can select either 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year. I would recommend 3 months because that's short enough to where maybe a group is beginning to move. You can also check the 2-month range or the 1 month. My favorite is one of those three: 2 month, 1 month, or the 3 months, because that gives you a short time enough to where you want to own the sectors once they start moving with a fresh move, as opposed to owning the top performing sectors of the last 1 year, because they've probably had their biggest move. You want to own them early, and if you do this consistently, every time there's a group rotation from one sector to another, then you're always going to know which sectors are hot. In this month, we've had the market go down in the last month of June, and while the market was going down, you can find which sectors held up very well, and you want to own those, because when the market comes back, you're going to see that those are the ones that are going to be doing well. Sectors that hold up very well during a market pull down, market drawdown, or a market sell-off, sectors that hold up well tend to be the ones that lead the market when the market gets back, gets back in its bullish rally. So again, here we're looking at the 2-month sector. We see that on this particular time frame, we see that we have the top performing sector on the 1 month, 2 month, 3 month was the footwear index. So that's one you need to have representation. If you're looking for new ideas, you click on that list and you're going to find here the group of stocks within the footwear index, and you can click on any other sector on the prior page to show you if you want to look for the top stocks within that sector. And you always want to go for the best. Don't go for the worst performing stocks. You want to go for the best performing stocks, because they are the ones that tend to deliver over time. Best stocks have a tendency, just like great players in sports, have a tendency of delivering good performance over time. They just don't do it one day or one season and they're done. So by sticking with the best sectors, all you're doing is always making sure that you own the absolute best. Here we're looking at just an example of the pharmaceuticals and biotechnology index, and you can start by checking out some of the top 10 stocks in that sector, which is one of the top sectors in the entire market. So there you have it. You have the top everything. And if the market is on fire and you own the best stocks over the last 2-3 months, I guarantee you're gonna improve the odds of success. Now, one other thing you can do if you want to really get in the mix is go to Yahoo, if you want to do this on a daily basis, and find the top performing percentage gainers. And the reason why I say that is because the top percentage gainers always tend to come back again over and over. The stocks that show up on the overall top percentage gainers for the day have a tendency of delivering the goods all the time. So if you go to yahoo.com, and I'm going to show you how I do it, and click on this link here, finance. Now I'll show you, some people go through different ways to get there. You can click on that link, but I use the finance on the left side. Go to that page, scroll down a little bit, and here on indices, and I'm going to highlight that just so you can see it. Click on that. Let me go back and highlight that so you see exactly what I'm showing you. Right there, click on that link right there, view more indices, click on that. Now it's going to bring you a list. On the left here, you want to click on top percentage gainers. That's how you find the top stocks every day. That's how I do it. I'm sure there are more than one way. And this list here is new every day because it's a daily percentage gainers. And what's going to surprise you is that the top stocks in this sector in every day tend to show up over time. The best stocks will tend to be on this list as they run up over many weeks and many months. They're going to be on this list many times. And so you want to know which stocks tend to be here, and by checking this every day. I used to check this every day years gone by, but that seems tedious, and I'm still surprised how the best performing sectors or the best performing stocks of the day tend to be the overall leaders in the market at the end of the year. So if you scan this list, preferably daily if you want to do this, there's no point in doing it once in a while. If you want to do it daily so you can know. For example, let's take a look at a stock here, Soda. This is a SodaStream International, and I'll show you a chart for this stock. Remember, we're looking at all the top performing sectors, and we see a lot of consumer goods as consumer index, clothing, we see restaurants. And so let me show you a chart for Soda. Is now appearing on Yahoo's top percentage gainers for the day. What's funny is that I had this stock on my watch list, as you can see today being July the 1st. I had this stock on my watch list because I wanted to bring this to my subscribers' attention. But the stock is not settling down. It's not giving me a buying opportunity. It just shot up. But again, it was on my buy list before today because I was watching it, and it's also now on today's best percentage gainers in the market. The reason why I wanna spend a little bit of time here is if you take a look at soda from a technical perspective, the stock is just breaking out this week. Buy point was about let's say about 57.5, which I'm gonna show here by a line. Okay, the prior buy point, and so we are seeing here it's breaking out this week above 57.5. 57.5 was a buy point, and now it's trading at 66. So that percentage gain on the stock is pretty much what you want to buy it as it breaks out. And what I'm saying is it's showing up now again. If you had missed it, the top percentage gainers on Yahoo would have helped you get that stock on that list. So there's more than one way to get to the best stocks in the market. If we take a look at this one on a daily, you see today it's up about 10%. And so if you had been watching the top consumer sector stocks, you probably would have been aware of this one or many others within the same group. So now I'm just showing you that you can find ideas on a day-to-day basis by looking at the top percentage gainer. So here we see the buy point was when the stock broke out above 57.5, which was a prior weekly closing high, as you can see by the blue box, which is I'm circling or just highlighting the prior weekly closing high. And once you calculate the weekly closing high using whatever method you have, then next time the stock moves above that level like it's doing right now, then you want to be a buyer. And that's what the entire breakout strategy is about. Once it moves above that previous closing high, like I'm showing right now, the prior breakout, once it moves above that prior closing high, like it could not move above there, but subsequently it had another attempt to move above that, and it did successfully hold that level, and it broke out to new highs. So after many weeks of rest, finally it broke out, and that's you want to own them as right there as they break out to new highs, because that's when they are on fire and institutional investors. So a stock moves higher, closes, makes a closing weekly, daily, monthly close, settles down for a couple of weeks, months or days. The moment it breaks out above the prior closing high, you want to be a buyer right there. That's all the breakout strategy is all about. You want to be a buyer when a stock breaks out above prior weekly, daily and monthly closing highs. So let's move it on here. So there you have it. You can use the Big Charts website to get the top percentage gainers whenever you're looking for the best stocks from the best sectors in the market. So here I'm just spending some time trying to show you that the reason why soda was one of the top percentage gainers today is because the consumer index, the consumer goods, personal goods, restaurants and all that, consumer stocks in general have been the ones that have been leading the market over the last couple of weeks. Like you can see the personal goods, consumer index, restaurants, you got footwear, all these are consumer products, toys, clothing, accessories, personal products, and then leisure goods. So in other words, it's no surprise that even prior to today, before soda moved, the consumer index stocks were already the ones that were leading the market. So it doesn't surprise me that we find a stock within these sectors that is among the top percentage gainers. So you get what I'm saying here is that if you start with the right sector, you're going to end up with the right stocks. That's how it works. Right sectors get you into the right stocks. So right now you should be spending time in this day, July of 2000, finding stocks within this sector right here, the consumer personal product stocks like footwear, clothing and stuff like that. Let's move it on here. Alright, so let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at JVA, which is a coffee stock. Where is that? Hold on a second. On today's Yahoo top percentage gainers, I think here it is. It's JVA. It's a coffee stock, again a consumer stock. Let's click on that. But now let's go to the chart. I think on the chart, not the Yahoo page. Alright, click on that. Look at this stock. I mean, look at this. It's up today, and it has been up so many times in the last couple of months. Stock broke out above 770 and now it's trading at 17. That's a big move, and the market was in trouble over the last couple of weeks. So here you have it, that even after such a big move, the stock is showing up again in the top percentage gainers of the day. This confirms to you what I'm saying, that the top percentage gainers is somewhere you can spend time, because you're going to find some of the greatest stocks. And there you have it. Another way is if you want to find stocks within the same sector, one way I do it is I go to a website called tickerspy.com. Tickerspy.com, as you can see right there, and then you want to enter your ticker symbol, and it's going to give you the stocks that are within the same sector. So JVA, press enter as an example. Then we're going to scroll down, and then somewhere on the left we're going to see scroll down here. Here it is. Click on coffee stocks. Click on coffee stocks right there, because that's this. JVA is a coffee stock, and that's a consumer stock. Again, consumer stocks have been hot, as we can see from this. And here is a list of stocks within that within the coffee. All these are coffee stocks. You can see SPX, and I probably might want to take a couple of seconds and look at some of the charts here. So let's take a look at, for example, go back to and look at Caribou Coffee, CB. Here's one that has broken out. Again, don't be surprised, because like I said, JVA is moving and the rest of the group is moving. Starbucks, SPUX, again, nice breakout. Actually, if I was forced to buy one of the coffee stocks and I wanted a large cap stock, I would go with Starbucks. It has everything one looks for in a breakout. So Starbucks is looking good right here. I might consider it on my watch list. Let's take a look again. Some of the other, like a JMCR, this one has been probably the one that has been moving this entire sector. This stock is on fire. I mean, look at this chart. I mean, $90 now, and it broke out from about $20 a couple of months ago, and now it's trading at $90. This is a great example that great stocks keep producing, and bad stocks have a tendency of losing you money. So wow, this is a great looking chart. And let's go back and just take a look at what other, see what we have here. And then I think that's, I was just showing you how you can find stocks within the same sector. So I took JVA from the top percentage gainers, went to Ticker Spy, and it gave me the rest of the group. Now if you want to do your look, I think I use StockCharts.com, but all your brokerage accounts are going to have a method or a way for you to do your technical analysis. So you can also use, without paying a lot of money, to other services. I have to pay because I have a service that I gave, so I'm doing it for business. But since you're doing it for your own account, and remember, you can't own all the stocks. Nobody can ever own all the stocks. You only want a couple of stocks in your portfolio. I would consider playing around with your brokerage account and see how the chart service is. Some of the brokerage accounts out there have very powerful charting tools, and instead of paying extra money, you can use those tools to help you. I'm going to show you how to use StockCharts.com. Problem is that you can't save your settings every day, because that is for paid subscribers. But I'm just going to show you how you can do this free without paying additional money. But what I would like to emphasize is, why don't you play around with your brokerage account to see what charting tools they have. I guarantee you all of them, Ameritrade, E-Trade, ScoreTrade, all of them, Fidelity, every online broker. There's so many services out there. They have great tools. I would encourage you to use them, because they are there for you to use, and they're free. You don't have to pay anything extra. And just familiarize yourself. Give yourself a couple of days, a couple of weeks to play around, so you can get the right feel. All this thing, remember, it's all visual analysis, and you want to have you want to be comfortable with what you're looking at. So by playing around with the parameters, you find what works for you, and that's just what you need. So I use stocktest.com, and I'm just going to show you what you can do. Is go ahead and go to www.stocktest.com, and I'm going to show you what I think you click on the free charts, and I'll click on that here in a second. Oops, hold on a second, I'm trying to get this set up. Okay, so okay, yeah, okay, go to and then click on so once you're on stocktest.com, oops, let me bring the free version of it, because on the other page I was logged in. Okay, now click on free charts right there. Let me highlight that for you, just in case you didn't see that. Click on free charts, and then you want to go ahead and enter your ticker symbol here where it says create a sharp chart. I'm just going to use JVA. Press enter, and it's going to come up with this page. It's a free version of it, and it gives you ability to get daily and weekly charts. So here's what, and you can change the size of the chart, for example, things like that. You can play around with it and see what works for you. I would encourage you to use the longer time frames. Like I use, my default is at the weekly. Here you see the setting. It's the RSI is set to be above the price. I don't like that. You can change it to come up as below. Then you can change your MACD settings. Here you go. You can have two indicators. I like to use the MACDs and the RSI, and I like to use the 493. Don't worry how you get those. So just my parameters. The other MACD setting is the default MACD settings on all software. So this one here, 12.26.9, is just what everybody uses, and I think that was from the guy who developed the MACD indicator. The 493 is mine, is one that I like to use because it gives you an earlier signal. But anyway, bottom line is, even on the free part of this website, they'll give you some ways you can tweak your charts. So now we look at a weekly chart for JVA. This is what it looks like. Like we saw, this one has had a great run. So this will not be on your buy list, but I'm just showing you an example. Here's one that I was watching today for subscribers. Stock is on fire today. This week up 11%. I'm waiting for it to pull back a little bit. Now that it's confirmed, that it can break out. And I'm just showing you that you can use stocktest.com to get charts, and you can change the parameters and things like that. Okay, let's see whether the RSI on this stock is at 78. Looks good. I'm hoping the stock pulls back, just as a side note, so that I can. And then again, you can also change a lot of things. For example, this one was set for candlesticks. I'm going to change it back to the OHLC, which just stands for open, high, low, close. Open, high, low, close. And what that just means is that you take one bar, let's say that's a bar, on your left is going to be the opening price, and then of course you're going to have the low, and then that's the close. You got everything there. You got your open to the left, your high point, your low point, and your close. That's why they call them OHLC bar, which is what you're seeing on the price right now. So this a lot of information here. So these are not just squiggly lines. They tell you a lot of where the stock opened, how high it went every week, because this is a weekly chart. And for example, let me just take this and show you, like in this one area right here. Let me take this long bar right there. You see that long bar? And you can see right there on your left is where it opened that week. Like right there, you can see it where it opened that week. You can see the low right there. That was the low for that week, and then it had a big rally that week, and the lows, the high and the close were almost the same. The high and the close. So that's what OHLC. That's what I use for my chart. So all these lines here on price give you a lot of information. and you can see on this one has a great weekly breakouts, great week, and now giving us another weekly breakout. And I'm just showing you as an example that you can use stock charts. Even though the stock is up, I'm waiting for it to pull back. You can use stock charts for free to get daily and weekly charts. In a little bit I'll show you how you can get monthly charts, but that's gonna so here's a daily view for this stock. Nice 8% gain for the day. So I'm just showing you that you can use stock charts for free to get charts, and I think the prices are real time, so that helps a lot. And you can see here the stock is breaking out above the green line, which is what I call a swedge breakout. You can find that on the My Secrets tab. In other words, the stock has been moving in a range tight, and then bam, it blasted out of that range. That's pretty much all that she wrote. So now remember, the ultimate mother breakout calls for monthly charts. So I'm going to show you how you can find monthly charts. Again, I'm going to take you back to bigcharts.com. Big charts, the website we were using for the we were using for the sector. So go to bigcharts.com. Oops, I need to enter the symbol first. Enter the ticker symbol, and I'm gonna enter EGHT, and then click on 3 years, and then and here I'm just showing you that you can get monthly charts. See right here, you can use this website to get monthly charts if you want to use this. It's not the best looking charts. They kind of look a little bit clunky, if that makes any sense, but they don't have the right feel. And you can always for example, here the volume is all in black bars there at the bottom. You can change the settings here by clicking on indicators, and then go to volume plus. Volume plus just helps you, okay, you can add the RSI and the MACD, draw chart. And remember now, the volume plus just helps you see which weeks were down and which weeks were up. Black bars are for positive weeks and red bars are for negative weeks. In other words, if the price was down for the week, the volume is considered down for the week. In other words, we consider that as selling. And this is what it looks like once you update the chart with your RSI and MACD. This is it's not that bad. It's not the best looking charts in the world. I used to use them years and years ago. But volume plus it just shows you the red is when the market closed lower that week, or the stock did, like it did here, closed lower for many weeks. Volume was red, and when it started closing higher, like right there, volume was positive. So that's what it meant. Just in case somebody out there was wondering what volume plus means. So here it is. So you can use this website here to get the monthly chart, so you can be able to look at the ultimate Moada breakout, which is the most powerful, simplest technical analysis tool that I know of, and it's very powerful, very very, very powerful. So let's just take a look and see what else we have left here on the video. Let's see. I hope I'm not forgetting anything, but I hope you got a gist of what I was trying to say here. Bottom line is, you're looking for stocks, and the stocks need to be in the best sectors. And how do you get the best sectors? How do you get the best stocks? And I've shown you how you can go to barcharts.com to get the best stocks, how to go to bigcharts.com to get the best sectors. And if you combine those two, you're pretty much gonna be in the ballpark. Right now I'm just gonna yap away, and because I like the video. I'd like the video to be 36 minutes long. Now that I've come close, that's a good number to end a video. And actually, on a side note, I had actually recorded this video, but I realized after I was done that I didn't have any volume, and now I'm recording it for the second time with a voice narration. It's tedious, so it's taken me about 2 hours just to do this one video, but that's okay. Setbacks do happen. So anyway, What I was gonna say is that, you know, don't forget that sectors keep rotating. So as long as you watch this, let's say every weekend, every couple of weeks, you know what sectors are hot. And as long as you do that consistently, then you'll know that, oh, wait a minute, now we have a new sector coming up as a top 10. And that makes you be alert. When you see a stock breaking out, let's say before we know it, gold is breaking out and gold stocks are doing well, or some other sector, then if they are breaking out and you notice that they are also showing up in the top percentage gainers in terms of sector rotation or sector performance, then you know that this is the most powerful sector in the market. Here I'm back again. I'm playing with some of the consumer stocks like Under Armour. Here it's breaking out again. What's there not to like? It's a consumer stock in the right sector, in the right market, so of course it's gonna do well. Why not? This is Eric Muatha with Muatha.com. Peace and blessings.